Picture this. A woman comes into my office, barely able to turn her head. She'd seen 3 specialists, done the MRIs, tried the medications. Nothing worked. No machines, just hands. 20 minutes later, she turned her head and started crying. Not from pain, but because it was finally gone. I'm not telling you this to impress you. I'm telling you this because what happened in that room has a scientific explanation, and most people will never hear it from their doctor. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand something about the human hand that will change how you think about healing forever. We live in a world that has outsourced healing to machines, MRI machines, ultrasound devices, robotic surgical systems. And these are extraordinary tools. I'm not dismissing them. But somewhere along the way, we forgot something ancient. Something every human being is born with. The ability to heal with touch. Here's what most people don't know. The human hand contains over 17,000 sensory receptors. More nerve endings per square inch than almost anywhere else on the body. When a trained hand makes contact with another person's body, something happens that no machine has fully replicated. The nervous system responds. Muscles release. Blood flow changes. Pain signals get interrupted at the source. This isn't mysticism. This is neuroscience. And yet, when was the last time your doctor used their hands to find what was wrong with you? Let me tell you about something called the gate control theory of pain. In 1965, researchers Ronald Melzack and Patrick Wall proposed that pain isn't just a signal that travels from the body to the brain. It passes through a gate in the spinal cord, and that gate can be opened or closed, depending on the input it receives. Skilled touch specifically. The kind of sustained, targeted pressure used in neuromuscular therapy sends a competing signal through that gate. It doesn't just mask the pain. It interrupts the pain pathway at the neurological level. This is why a mother instinctively puts a hand on a child's scraped knee. It's not just comfort. The body is literally using touch to close the pain gate. Research from the Touch Research Institute at the University of Miami, one of the only institutes in the world dedicated entirely to the science of touch, has shown that therapeutic touch reduces cortisol levels, lowers blood pressure, improves immune function, and accelerates recovery from injury. Your body was designed to respond to human touch. It has been for 200,000 years of human evolution. The question is, are you using it? I want to tell you something personal. I didn't learn to heal in a classroom. I learned it from watching my mother's hands. She never used clinical language. She didn't have degrees on her wall. But when she placed her hands on someone in pain, something shifted every time. People came to her the way people today go to specialists, because her hands worked when nothing else did. When I eventually trained as a neuromuscular therapist, I began to understand the science behind what I had watched her do my entire life. But there's a part of it that science still hasn't fully explained. In Eastern medicine, and in many healing traditions around the world, there is a concept of life energy. In Korean and Japanese tradition, we call it ki. In Chinese medicine, chi. In Indian tradition, prana. The idea is simple. The body has an energy field, and a skilled practitioner can sense disruptions in that field areas, where energy is blocked, stagnant, or chaotic, and help restore flow. Now I know how that sounds to a Western audience. So let me offer you this. In 2015, researchers at the University of Arizona conducted studies on biofield therapy and found measurable changes in cellular function following energy-based interventions. The NIH has an entire division, the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, dedicated to studying exactly these kinds of approaches. I'm not asking you to believe anything. I'm asking you to stay curious, because the healers who came before us knew something, and science is slowly catching up. So what does this mean for you right now, today, whether you believe in ki or not? Whether you've ever heard of neuromuscular therapy or not, your hands are already capable of more than you think. Here are 3 things you can do with your own hands that have real, research-backed effects on your body. First, suboccipital release. Place both thumbs at the base of your skull, just behind your ears. Press firmly upward, not into the skull, but underneath it. Hold for 60 seconds while breathing slowly. This releases the suboccipital muscles, decompresses the upper cervical spine, and for many people, immediately reduces headache and neck tension. Second vagus nerve activation through hand pressure. Interlace your fingers and press your palms firmly together. Hold for 30 seconds while taking slow nasal breaths. This combination of sustained hand pressure and controlled breathing has been shown to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and repair state. Third, self-myofascial release for the plantar fascia. Sit down, cross one foot over your knee, and use both thumbs to apply firm, slow pressure along the arch of your foot, from heel to ball. 2 minutes per foot. Research suggests this reduces plantar fasciitis pain, comparably to professional treatment in early-stage cases. Your hands already know how to do this. They just need direction. I want to leave you with something that has nothing to do with technique. In a world that is more digitally connected than any time in human history, we are also more touch-deprived than any generation before us. Studies show that lack of physical touch is linked to increased anxiety, depression, weakened immune function, and even cognitive decline. We were not built for screens. We were built for contact. The healing tradition I carry, passed down through my family, refined through years of training, is at its core about one thing: presence. The willingness to put your hands on another human being and say, without words, I see you. I'm here. Let's find out what your body needs. That act is not small. That act is ancient. And it is increasingly rare. If you have someone in your life who is in pain, a parent, a spouse, a friend, you don't need a degree to begin. You need attention, slow hands, and the willingness to listen to what the body is telling you. The human hand is the oldest healing tool in existence. Before the MRI, before the prescription pad, before the surgical robot, there were hands, and they worked. If this video made you think differently about touch, about pain, about healing, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And tell me, in the comments, has anyone ever helped your pain simply by using their hands? I want to hear your story. I'll see you in the next one. Disclaimer. The information in this video is based on personal experience and publicly available research and is intended for educational purposes only. It does not constitute medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider for any health concerns.